Hey, bonjour, this is Emma at Words and Peace and Friends Book Tours. Finally, I'm back after so many years. I believe I haven't done any video. And one reason was that I thought it took a lot of time to edit. So I've decided to go really raw. And I've seen recently bloggers doing that. So any mistakes, whatever, I'll keep it raw. And I'm using Loom, not Zoom, but loom.com, which is a cool way to record yourself and showing your screen at the same time. And also I thought, to finally go back to vlogging, starting by my monthly TBRs would be a good idea. So here is what I'm planning to read in January. The title of video plans 12 books. Yeah, more or less. And actually in 2021, I've read an average of a bit over 13 books a month. So that should work. And so also this year, I'm going mostly to focus on my TBRs. And I have lots of different TBRs, and I will actually do a video on that and all the different plans I'm going to use to try to attack that TBR and possibly giving you some cool ideas. So without further ado, let's start. So yes, I can move this out of the way. Sorry about that. Now I forgot how to do this. Here we go. So I'm first going to talk briefly about the audiobooks I'm going to listen to. I'm actually currently listening to this one, Gravé dans le sable by Michel Bussy. I don't think it's been translated in English. Maybe it was actually. It was originally published, yeah, I guess it was, Omaha Crimes. It's kind of a re-edition. This was his very first book. And so 2007, and it's been re-edited. So it's actually a historical thriller because it's based on D-Day, something that happened with a soldier that, well, I'm not going to give details. But it's a thriller, and I love Michel Bussy. He's probably one of my favorite contemporary French author of thrillers. I read many books by him. I actually did a video a few years ago introducing him, so I'll give the links down there so you can watch that other video. And then after that, the other audio I'm planning to read is called Les Fourmis by Bernard Werber. It's a series, and it's science fiction and about ants. Oh yeah, in French, in English means the ants. About those infraterrestrial creatures, about their organizations, and it's based on very scientific data. And there's quite a few contemporary French authors of thriller or sci-fi who do manage to do a fantastic job from that, based on really science. And I haven't read this author yet, so I'm really curious about this one. I will probably have time to listen to other audiobooks, and basically only focusing on all my audio TBRs right now. And they are mostly French, all French. Okay, then quickly, just a few details. I always read a couple of spiritual books. They are in French currently. Oh no, one is in English. One is in French. I'm not going to say much about them. One is a commentary by a Russian author on Psalm 118. The very long psalm that I like a lot. And the other one is a French book on Orthodox spirituality. And this is my other website, Myrtle Skeet, where I regularly post notes on spiritual books that I'm currently reading. So same thing, I'll give you links down there. Another book I'm currently reading a little bit which is actually, I'm going now to focus on a few books that I will just read a few pages a day. I like doing that. So I'm going to tackle, let's say, 5 books like that. So one of them, I'm already reading it. I'm like 35%. I started this last year and never finished it, so just a bit every day. So it's the Love Dictionary of thrillers. So about Pierre Lemaitre. So he basically takes all the letters of the alphabet and mention different books or authors related to thrillers or different themes. I like it. It's very fascinating. I'm discovering lots of books, and he's a great author. I've actually, I would actually recommend 2 books by Pierre Lemaitre. One is in English been translated The Great Swindle. It's a swindle related to World War One, and it's really absolutely fabulous. So much so that Pierre Lemaitre, who up to that point, so that was in 2013, before that, he was only writing thrillers. And then he decided to write a historical novel. That was his first, and he got the Prix Goncourt in France for that, which is one of the most prestigious French literary awards. And I've reviewed it in French and English, and this is my conclusion. This raw historical novel will make you both recoil at the horror of World War I and its aftermath, and side with the wounded, especially 2 unforgettable characters fighting once more for life, friendship, love, and a decent future. Masterpiece, really worthy of the Prix Goncourt. So now it was translated 2015. And some of his thrillers are pretty raw, dark, noir, gory, but one of them is more psychological, and it's really excellent, and it's rather short. In English, it was translated at 3 Days in the Life. And I'm just going to read my conclusion here. You're 12, you killed a young friend of yours, there's a mistake, by accident. What will become of you? Masterful noir portrayal of a young killer's mind and life in a typical French provincial village. And you know from the get-go that this kid, something happened and he killed his young friend. But you don't know what's going to happen to his life after this. Really excellent. And yeah, I haven't written here how many pages. Oh yeah, I have. Oh, it's only 6. I actually listened to it. Apparently, it's only 6 hours, so it's very short. So now I would like to show you the other 4 books I'm going to read from a little bit every day. This is Paul Valéry, mostly poetry. This is a very fat book. This is from Playad edition, so you can see very small printing. So just a few pages a day. I found this at a library sales, and I like a lot Paul Valéry. I recently read a book by him. Really enjoyed him. Another book. This is Wabi Sabi. The subtitle is Japanese Wisdom for Perfectly Imperfect Life by Beth Campton. And I started reading it and forgot mostly about it, so I'm going to restart, and same thing, a few pages a day. Then you may have seen that this past year I finished my project of listening to all of Hercule Poirot's novels and short stories. So I decided to kind of do something as a conclusion for the whole project. So I'm going to read this book, The Greatest Detective in the World by Mark Aldrich. This was published in March, I believe. And it's basically taking a chronological order of all the books, and there's apparently some fun illustrations, all black and white though, so it could be very interesting. Okay. And then for Christmas we got this fabulous book. It's heavy. Sorry, I'm trying to read the title same time. by Richard Weatherly, A Brush with Birds, Painting and Stories from the Wild. So it's about this the life of this British man, and they say it's more than a bird book or an art book. It is an adventure in faraway places with an artist determined to understand and capture the unique character of each bird, whether familiar or rare. I'm going to show you some pictures because I mean it's gorgeous of his art. Is that amazing? So I think I'm going to have really fun with all this. Then a couple books, I would say, well, at least one I got for review. Red is My Heart. This is by Antoine Laurin. I received from Gallic Press. I think it's going to be fun. Look at those illustrations. I love it. So this is unusual book by Antoine Laurin because usually it's a different form than that. I love this. Okay. How do you mend a broken heart? Do you write a letter to a woman who left you and post it to an imaginary address? Buy a new watch to reset your life? Or get rid of the jacket you wore every time you are good because it was in some way responsible? So we'll see. I love Antoine Laurin. I've read many books by him. You may have read this one, The President Hats in English. I'm just also going to give you my final thoughts on that. The short and funny novel, full of cultural references to the 1980s, actually offers an interesting reflection on destiny and delightfully French. Then, okay, our public library is an awesome challenge, a winter reading challenge. You tell the staff, you answer a questionnaire, you tell the staff, the last books you read, were you interested in reading or not reading, and then the staff picks a book for you. And this is what they picked, Cixin Liu, The Free Body Problem. Now, this is absolutely not a challenge because I've been planning to read this book for a long time since I discovered Cixin Liu with Supernova Era. This is actually the main Chinese author of science fiction. I read this 2 years ago and it was, wow, fabulous. And this is my little final report. Brilliant mix of science fiction and sociology. What are our and our children's main interests in life? What picture does it give us of our world tomorrow? And this one, I'm just going to say here, they say a unique blend of scientific and philosophical speculation, politics and history, conspiracy theory, and cosmology. So it looks also to be kind of a vast press scope. And I've actually started it only about 50 pages. January is the beginning of the Japanese Literature Challenge, which lasts actually 3 months, hosted by this wonderful lady. And this is going to be the 15th year she hosts this challenge. And last year I read 12 books for this challenge, so 4 every month. So this is my TBR for those 3 months of challenge. I put them in chronological order of publication, simply as that. So I'm going to hopefully read the first 4. So the first one is The Wild Geese by Ogai Mori. I've never read anything by this author. And so that was written in 1911. It's a prominent, offers a poignant story of unfulfilled love. The young heroine, Otama, is forced by poverty to become a moneylender's mistress. Her dawning consciousness of a predicament brings the novel to a touching climax. I'm really intrigued. Then, How Do You Live by Kenzaburo Yoshino. So same thing, I've never read this one, was published in 1937, but I really want to read it. It's extremely popular, and it's going to be even more popular because my favorite director for animes, Hayao Miyazaki, has decided to come out of retirement to do one on How Do You Live, and should be coming out this year, 2022. So I absolutely want to read it before watching the anime. And then this is a short story or novella, 37 pages, published in 57, Dojoji by Yukio Mishima. You can see the story. It's a play actually, and takes place in and I don't often read play. That's great. It takes place in a second-hand furniture shop. The dealers organize a private auction for some very rich customers. I'm not going to read more because I like to go with surprises. But I've already read some Mishima, especially this book called The Sound of Waves, published in 54, and I really adored it. It's beautifully written. It's about the love story between Shinji, a young fisherman, and Hetsu. They are both innocent in their own way, an innocence that other kids and some people have a hard time imagining. But the two of them stay strong through the gossip and unjustified slander. There are really beautiful descriptions of nature. It's beautiful. I highly recommend you to read this book. Now the fourth Japanese novel for this January would be The Waiting Years. And I've never read this author, Fumiko Enshi, so this book was published in 57. The beautiful immature girl whom she took home to her husband was made only in name. Nomo's real mission had been to find him a mistress. So we'll see. In a series of colorful, unforgettable scenes, and she brilliantly handles the human interplay within the ill-fated Shirakawa family. And if I have still time, I will at least begin a book I requested through NetGalley. I'm going to request very few books this year, but this is After the Romanovs, Russian exiles in Paris from the Belle Epoque through Revolution in War. This will be published in March, on March 8th by St. Martin's Press. So this is nonfiction, and I've read another book by Helen Rappaport called The Romanov Sisters that was absolutely fabulous. The end was very hard because if you know what happened to the Romanov family, this is definitely not a happy ending, but she's an amazing writer, and with how she brings to life all the historical details, it's absolutely amazing. So that's it for my January TBR. Let me know if you've read any of these books, and I'm going to put all the links of the different reviews I've shared with you today. And let me know what are your plans, and if you have a video on your January TBR, please share in a comment. I'm also going to then do another video soon about all my TBRs planned for this year. Okay, so see you very soon. Au revoir.